Have you ever wondered why, despite your best efforts, respect still feels out of reach? Respect isn't something you can demand. It's something you earn by living with integrity, discipline, and self-respect. Today, we'll uncover the habits that might be quietly undermining your worth and how to replace them with actions that command the respect you truly deserve. By the end of this video, you'll have the tools to elevate your life and relationships. Let's dive in. Respect starts with you.
Respect is not something you demand. It's something you earn by living with integrity, discipline, and self-respect. If any of these habits are part of your life, it's time to remove them. Only then will you earn the respect you truly deserve. Let me be brutally honest with you. Most people will never respect you, no matter how hard you try. You can work your tail off, bend over backward for others, and still get looked down upon. Why? Because respect isn't just about what you do. It's about who you are and the habits you carry with you every single day. And I'll tell you from personal experience, I had to learn this the hard way. I used to think being nice, agreeable, and always available would earn me respect. But in reality, I was just making myself smaller in the eyes of others. The truth is, you'll never be respected unless you cut out the behaviors that undermine your worth. I remember being stuck in this loop, wondering why people didn't take me seriously, why I was always the one left behind. It wasn't until I started removing these toxic habits, like constantly making excuses or seeking validation, that things started to change. Respect didn't come overnight, but the moment I stopped caring about pleasing others and started respecting myself, the world around me shifted. And here's the deep message. Respect doesn't come from others. It starts within. If you don't demand more from yourself, no one else will. It's time to face the truth and remove these habits from your life once and for all. Only then will you command the respect you deserve. Habit number 1. Always making excuses. Let me be real with you. Making excuses is the fastest way to guarantee you'll never be respected. I know, we all do it. You might think your excuse is perfectly legitimate, that it's not your fault something went wrong. Maybe it was the traffic, or your co-worker didn't give you the information on time, or hey, life just happens, right? But here's the hard truth. Nobody cares about your excuses. People respect results, not reasons. I remember a time in my life when I was full of excuses. I'd always show up late, blaming it on traffic or some random event that just happened. I thought as long as I had a reason, it was fine. But eventually, I noticed something. It didn't matter how valid the excuse was. People started to see me as unreliable. Friends didn't trust me to show up on time. My boss stopped giving me important projects, and even my family subtly stopped relying on me. I was losing respect left and right, and I couldn't figure out why. The truth is, excuses don't make you look responsible. They make you look weak. They show that you're not in control of your life. And let me tell you, nothing kills respect faster than showing people you're not in control. Whether you're late because you overslept or because of traffic, the end result is the same. You weren't where you were supposed to be, and that's on you. When I finally realized this, it hit me like a ton of bricks. I was the problem, not the world around me. I was letting myself off the hook and expecting people to just accept my excuses. But let me tell you something that's both freeing and harsh. The world doesn't owe you anything. People respect accountability, not deflection. I remember once, after showing up late again and giving my usual traffic excuse, someone said, "Well, why didn't you leave earlier?" That stung, but you know what? They were right. And that's when it clicked for me. Every time I made an excuse, I was essentially saying, I'm not responsible for my own life. How could I expect anyone to respect that? Here's where the deep message comes in. Excuses aren't just words, they're a mindset. They keep you locked in a victim mentality, always blaming outside factors for your failures. But the moment you take responsibility, everything changes. When I stopped making excuses and started owning my mistakes, something incredible happened. People started to trust me again. It was like they could see the shift in my mindset, and they respected me for it. No more excuses. If I messed up, I owned it. If I was late, I apologized without any traffic stories. And here's the funny thing, people are a lot more forgiving when you don't try to weasel your way out with excuses. They can respect someone who says, "Yeah, that was my bad. I'll do better next time," far more than someone who keeps pointing the finger at circumstances. It's not about perfection, it's about responsibility. The deep takeaway here is this: you have to stop lying to yourself before you can expect others to respect you. Every time you make an excuse, you're reinforcing the idea that you're not in control of your life. And if you don't believe you have control, why should anyone else believe in you? Respect is built on reliability, accountability, and self-respect. If you keep hiding behind excuses, people will see right through it, and you'll never earn the respect you want. So, next time you feel an excuse creeping up, catch yourself. Take a breath, own the situation, and move forward. It's a hard habit to break, but once you stop making excuses, you'll be surprised how much more respect you'll command from the people around you and from yourself. 2. Being lazy. If you're lazy, let me tell you this: nobody will ever respect you, and honestly, they shouldn't. I know, that sounds harsh, but it's the truth. You can have all the potential in the world, all the talent, all the dreams, but if you sit around doing nothing, none of it matters. People don't respect potential, they respect action. And laziness? It's the ultimate sign of wasted potential. I used to think I could coast by on my talent. I was the kind of person who could get away with doing the bare minimum because I was smart enough to get decent results without really trying. But you know what? No one respected me for that. Sure, people might have said, "Oh, he's capable," but deep down, they didn't take me seriously. Why? Because laziness isn't a lack of ability. It's a lack of effort, and effort is what earns respect. I remember one specific moment when this hit me hard. I was working on a group project, and everyone had put in the work except me. I figured I could just show up, contribute a little here and there, and let the others handle the bulk of it. But when we presented, everyone's efforts were obvious, except mine. And the looks I got afterward, the subtle but unmistakable disappointment, made it clear. I had lost their respect. I didn't just let them down, I let myself down. It wasn't even about the project. It was about the fact that I wasn't pulling my weight. People could see it, and they lost respect for me, plain and simple. The thing about laziness is that it's incredibly visible. You might think people don't notice when you're slacking off, but they do. They notice when you're not pulling your weight, when you're cutting corners, or when you're avoiding hard work. And the worst part? It's contagious. Laziness drags other people down with you. They stop expecting much from you, and that's the death of respect right there. When people don't expect you to contribute, to work hard, or to push yourself, they stop seeing you as someone valuable. Here's the deep message. Laziness is a form of self-sabotage. It's not just about being too tired or not motivated. It's a mindset where you convince yourself that you can get by without effort. But the truth is, every time you choose laziness, you're choosing to stay small. You're telling yourself that comfort is more important than growth. And trust me, people respect growth, not comfort. I had to learn this lesson the hard way. I used to think that taking the easy road meant I was being smart, that I could save energy and still get by. But here's what I didn't realize. Success isn't just about talent or intelligence. It's about persistence, hard work, and dedication. The people who are respected are the ones who push through the discomfort. who take on the hard tasks, and who show up even when they don't feel like it. Laziness is the opposite of all that. It shows you're not willing to push yourself. And if you're not willing to do that, why should anyone respect you? You can't hide laziness. It shows up in the way you carry yourself, in how you talk about your work, and in the way you approach challenges. People can tell when you're coasting. They can tell when you're not giving it your all, and it reflects in how they treat you. If you're lazy, don't expect people to trust you with responsibilities. Don't expect them to look to you for leadership. Habit number 3, neglecting your personal appearance. Here's something people won't often tell you. How you present yourself says more about you than you think. And if you're neglecting your personal appearance, don't expect anyone to respect you. I know what you're probably thinking, but isn't it superficial to judge someone based on how they look? Sure, it might sound shallow on the surface, but the truth is, your appearance is a reflection of how much you respect yourself. And if you can't respect yourself, why would anyone else? I used to be one of those people who thought, what does it matter? People should like me for who I am, not what I look like. So I'd roll out of bed, throw on whatever was clean, and show up. I thought I was being real or authentic, but in reality, I was just being lazy. And you know what? It showed. People weren't taking me seriously. I didn't command attention in meetings, and I certainly didn't give off an aura of someone who had it together. One day I had a wake-up call. I remember walking into an important event wearing wrinkled clothes, hair a mess, and just generally looking like I didn't care. And that's the vibe I gave off. Someone who didn't care. The moment I stepped into the room, I could feel the difference in how people interacted with me. I wasn't taken seriously, and I certainly wasn't treated with respect. Meanwhile, those around me who had put effort into their appearance instantly commanded attention. I realized then that neglecting how I looked wasn't just affecting me, it was affecting how others saw me. I was losing respect before I even opened my mouth. And here's where the deep message comes in. Your personal appearance is a form of non-verbal communication. It tells the world, I respect myself and I take this seriously. When you take care of yourself, when you present yourself in a way that shows effort, people take notice. It's not about wearing expensive clothes or looking like a model. It's about showing that you have enough self-respect to put effort into how you look. That effort signals to others that you take yourself and them seriously. Think about it. When someone shows up disheveled, unkempt, and looking like they just rolled out of bed, what's the first thought that comes to mind? Probably something along the lines of, this person doesn't care. And if you don't care enough to take care of yourself, people subconsciously assume you won't care about your work, your relationships, or your responsibilities. On the flip side, when someone walks into a room well-groomed, confident, and put together, it immediately sets a tone of respect. People are more inclined to listen to you, trust you, and, yes, respect you. I know this might sound harsh, but personal appearance isn't just about vanity. It's about self-respect. It's about showing the world that you value yourself enough to put in the effort. And when you respect yourself, others will follow suit. That's a hard truth I had to learn. After that embarrassing event, I made a conscious decision to change how I presented myself. I started dressing with intention, paying attention to details like grooming and cleanliness. And I can tell you, the change in how people treated me was almost instant. Suddenly, I was being noticed, taken more seriously, and, most importantly, I was respecting myself more. The thing is, people will always judge you based on first impressions, whether we like it or not. And those first impressions are heavily influenced by your appearance. If you want respect, you have to look like someone who deserves it. Neglecting your appearance sends the message that you don't care. And if you don't care, neither will